Can 10 days change your life? Well, according to Catie, they can. Hello, gals, and welcome to Sobriety Snippets for Ambitious Women 40 Plus, helping you put down the wine and pick up conscious, happy living. That is all I want for you. That's it. It's that simple. I'm Becca Jacobson, and I love delivering snippets right to you 4 times a week. Gals, today's snippet is special because I had an amazing conversation with a woman in my world named Catie, and you're going to hear from her. And here's the thing about this. I know Catie, she's in my world, but her answers surprised me. I did not realize how she got started. I was surprised. So stay tuned and catch how Catie got started. And at the end, I have a surprise for you. Yeah, I do at the end. So stick around and enjoy this conversation I had with Catie. Catie, thank you for joining me on the snippets. I'm so excited that you're not only in snippet land and in my world, but that you agreed to do this. Not everyone does. I know it takes courage. So thank you for being here.
Well, you're welcome, Becca. I'm glad to do this because if I can help some,
Awesome.
wonderful.
Exactly. And it will help other women. So go ahead and introduce yourself. We know your name's Catie. Where are you coming from?
I'm Catie and I'm from Texas. I live probably about an hour and 20 minutes from Houston. That's a familiar name, hopefully. I grew up, though, in Deep East Texas in Angelina County, and it's a lot different there than it is here.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Far out. I bet you there are women who know those areas. I don't know them very well, but that was a good distinction to make. So, Catie, we're here to hear your story. Tell me how you came into my world. What were you looking for? What was the background on that?
I met you, Becca, on my third attempt to get sober. I was actually sober from 2008 to 2021. And then I got sober to lose weight in 2024, and I relapsed in 2025. So
Wow. So, '08 to 21, that's a long stretch of sobriety.
it was the most miserable 13 years of my life.
Oh my God. Tell us about that. That's an interesting thing to say.
I did no self work beyond attending a few AA meetings and deciding it wasn't for me. And I just was angry, just furious. I went around in just a mild fury. Any inconvenience or frustrating thing, just I'd blow up. And I hated that being so much that in 2021 it was Christmas. And I said, you know what? Give me one of those.
Wow.
I don't remember
Wow.
what it was, but I said, give me one of those.
Catie, this is what I say this a lot. I say it's not about the alcohol. Like we can put it down. It's called being a dry drunk. If you want to be crude, that's what they call it.
Well, yes, that's exactly what it was.
13 years as a dry drunk. That's so sad.
Was a total waste of my time and my effort and everything. And, I tried
Okay.
meditating and I tried journaling, but there is something about the community that I think really makes the difference for me. And again, I did not try that until this year when I met you, but that is what has
Right.
made a lot of the difference for me. And also the course on perspective.
Okay.
That's made a lot of difference, although I still have not finished it. That is
Okay.
that is Right, I did about half of it, and it made so much difference.
Okay. Well, you're in trouble now. We'll talk about that later, that you haven't done your homework. I'm just kidding. Let's back up and talk about, okay, so now we're in 2025. And then what happens? Then what happens?
Well, in April of 2025, I was getting sick from the alcohol again. My GI was really bothering me, and most days, I didn't wake up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was just kinda to wait until I could start drinking again. And
Okay,
it
and hold on, hold on. And you had started again in 2021. This is 4 years of drinking.
I started again in 2021, and then in August of 2024, I decided I wanted to lose weight. So I
Okay.
again, cold turkey, and I did pretty good because I was losing weight. But then when I got down to my goal weight, it was like, "You know what? Pour me one of those."
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, not happy, not growing, just not drinking and losing weight. That's it.
Right. So,
Okay. All right. Now we're up to speed in 2025. Your
2020
tummy's hurting. You're sleeping all morning. Now
yeah,
what?
it was the hours I was awake, I could barely do anything.
Wow.
I mean, all I could do was just hang on to my chair kind of, and I didn't feel nauseated. I never vomited, which surprised me because when I first got sober back in 2028, the reason I quit that time was I was vomiting blood.
Holy cow.
And so then in this year, I wasn't doing that. I just felt so bad, just horrible. I mean, like if I went outside and got the least bit hot, I felt like I was going to pass out. Just bad stuff like that. And I said, "I've got to get sober again because my body's not gonna do this much longer," because I'm 52. And,
Right.
my organs and everything, I mean, they're wearing out just because it's that time of life, but the drinking is making it far worse. So,
Absolutely. Okay. So you
I got
started looking.
I started looking. I quit drinking, and around day 5, when I felt better from the withdrawals and stuff,
Mhm.
I thought, "There's no way I'm gonna stick with this. I have got to figure out something else." And so I started listening to sober podcasts, listening to YouTube videos, and I found your snippets, and what I liked about you was that you said you dealt with women over 40. And I thought, well, at least I've got people whose bodies are kind of doing the same things mine are and can relate
Right.
to that part of life when you don't bounce back as quick as you did when you were 30.
Not only that, I don't know about you, but for me, I got sober at 52. And at 52, I was getting drunk way easier. All of a sudden, yeah, you too? Okay, tell us about that.
Oh, well, I would take about my drink is bourbon and ice, okay? And
Okay.
it would take about 3, and I'm talking big ones, to get to the point where the hot lights shut off, and the cool
Right.
light on. And then I would drink probably about 6 over the course of the evening, and by that time, I could barely stand up. And used to like, when I was in my 30s, let's say, I could probably drink a case of beer and some vodka and something else and maybe vomit, but not get to the point where I couldn't stand up.
Yeah, we become a cheap date in our early 50s there, right?
But
Not funny, but yeah,
it still costs a lot of money, to sit there
yeah.
and finish handle after handle of your drink of
So
choice.
you've got 5 days of sobriety and you realize this isn't gonna last. I've got to do something else. Okay. That is, by the way, that right there is a smart move. And you can tell that you had been through it before because that's not a very common thought. Usually at 5 days, women will go, I'm gonna I got this. No, it's happening. I'm doing it. You recognized, oh my God, it's gonna slip again if I don't. So good for you. So tell us what happened next.
So I'm looking around at coaches and stuff, and one of the things was it costs money to get into a coaching program. And I kept thinking, "Well, what if I don't like it? What if I don't like it?" And then right about that time, I don't know what social media I was on, but your advertisement popped up for 10 days in May. And because I had listened to some of your snippets, and I think, watched you on some Facebook interviews, or not Facebook, but YouTube. You had interviewed with people like Mel Robbins, and I think the lady who did The Naked Mind.
Mhm. You knew me.
Yeah,
You
I
knew
knew
who I was. Okay.
right, who you were. And when it came up that I could sample your services for 10 days and learn some of what you teach, then I said, "That's what I need to do. That's what I need to do." And you had been
Wow.
offering a one-on-one call, and I didn't quite have the nerve to do that. but I did have the nerve to sign up. And the things that you taught over the course of those 10 days really, I mean, were big shifts in my thinking. And at the end of the 10,
Wow.
I knew I had better sign up because I wanted to learn the rest of what you had to say.
Right. Wow, that's so amazing, Catie. The 10 days in May was such a fun event. I really look back at it very fondly. And that event shifted for a lot of women. And I'm so happy to hear your story and how I hadn't thought of it that way. You know, when you're on this side and you go, hey, come meet with me one on one, I'll talk to you. That's a scary proposition. I'm not scared. I know me. I'm not going to bite your head off. But for women, so to hear you share that, no, but I could step into a group and sample the wares before committing and investing. So, yeah, that's really amazing. And 10 days in May were so much fun. Can you think of one? Maybe you can't remember and it's okay, but what did you learn in those 10 days that made you go, okay, this is the beginning of the end for me?
The separation of your drinking buddy voice from your sober voice.
That's huge.
Weeks and weeks for me to get where I really did have the 2 separated because I had to develop myself as a sober person. But once I got those 2 separated, I rarely hear that drinking voice. And I hear it so rarely now that when it does pipe up, I say, "What's wrong? What's going on? What do you wanna escape from?"
Wow. That is so cool. Actually, Catie, that was a turning point for me too. When I was 52, someone looked at me, I forget who, and just said, I guess I said something. And she said to me, you realize that that voice isn't you. And I went, well, what do you mean? Of course it's me. She's like, you don't have to listen to it. That was all she said. And she walked away. And I thought, what the hell? Wait, what a revelation. I don't have to obey the voice. So, yeah, that is a powerful thing to do. I'm glad that helped. What
Even
else?
for me, the
Anything?
realization with the voice was the voice is a crazy person.
Yeah.
She's destructive and crazy. What else? That's the only thing I really remember in the 10 days that was just
Yeah.
so.
Well, it was a lot. It was a lot and a long time ago. So that's a powerful shift right there, isn't it?
Well, one thing I wanted to say is we did have a lesson. Every day we had a little thing to do and it worked. I did it every day for 10 days and it did work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. We show up every day together live and I walk you through it. And the women who do the homework and show up and come back, they do get massive results from those events. I mean, some come and don't, but they don't do it. I can't drag you along kicking and
Right.
screaming, right? But you
I
were
mean,
ready.
right.
Yeah.
Because I know that the next drunk will likely be my last one.
Right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so but we don't have to get that desperate, gals. For those of you out there listening, you don't have to wait until your body's falling apart and you're in total desperation. But we often do, sadly. So then at the end, you decided to join me. What was that like?
I really like the group. We have a WhatsApp channel, and if you're having trouble that day not drinking, you can come in there and say so. Somebody who's joined right about the time I did came in yesterday and said, I really want to have a tantrum and drink. And everybody just kind of rallied around her. And it was so nice. And the perspectives course that I think a lot of people don't even realize is there, just judging from what they say when they come in the group. You have this perspectives course and it's on its own little website. And it's got so much information, so much helpful homework. But you got to make yourself do it, which is why I still need to go back and finish the last half.
Yeah. Yeah. I put a lot of heart and soul into those 8 weeks. It's an 8 week online course and it's designed to walk us through those perspectives. And the perspectives are everything like your present, past, future, your relationship with others, with yourself, through forgiveness, through healing. It's and emotional releasing. It is pretty jam packed, to be honest. Sometimes wonder if it shouldn't be a longer course because you're not the first. I'll just tell you, Catie, you're not the first to not get through all the content in 8 weeks. So you're not in trouble.
Good, good, good.
But that's why you're sticking around too. So tell me about the women you met and the rhythm of those 8 weeks. for you?
Well, the women I met, a lot of them were pretty close to my age, 52, but we had some that were a little older, none at that point that were younger, though we do have some younger ones now, but I have not met anybody in that program who was rude or dismissive or acted like they didn't wanna hear what anybody had to say. Everybody's acted interested, they've been kind, they've been helpful, and I couldn't ask for a greater group of women, really. And I'll tell you what, I enjoy the Sunday meetings we have where everybody comes in and you have a little topic that we talk about a little bit, and then we go off into our groups. And I like that too. I feel so much better on Sunday when after I have gone to the meeting. It really gives me a little pick me up.
Wow. That's awesome. Me too. Sundays are my favorite. That's when we all get together and see each other's beautiful faces. I tell you, I just feel so blessed when I see you gals interacting in WhatsApp or in Zoom. And I think, wow, what did I do to deserve such amazing women in my life? And it's just such an honor and a privilege. And you're right, we do have some early 40s women in there now, don't we? Which is beautiful too. So tell me what happened next. What else do you want to share about your journey?
One thing I remembered after you asked what I really got out of the program, one of the other big, huge things I got was all the things that make me drink, that I had to learn how to reframe those. And when something comes up that's the thing, I'm mad at somebody or whatever, try to just reframe my anger and my feelings about them and try to have a little compassion for them.
So you're recognizing triggers now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The effective things you said was if you let these things make you drink, those things and people are controlling you.
Yeah.
And
That's
an
right.
alcoholic hates not being in control.
It's ironic, but true, isn't it? Wait a minute. Hold on a minute here. You're not taking control of my life as
Right.
we run off and buy another bottle. Yeah, it's funny. It is funny. We are funny people. Yeah. Interesting. So the women were amazing. The course is not done yet. So you're staying a little longer, and that's amazing. So you'll have time to do the work. And
Yes.
what would you say to anyone out there? You probably said it already. You've said so many beautiful and inspiring things. Anybody out there struggling, or what would your inroad be? It sounds like you might advise one of my live events would be the best thing, but maybe not. Is that
Well, if you're struggling and you really do wanna quit, try one of Becca's free events. It doesn't cost
Mhm.
you anything but time, and if you show up sincerely and do what she says, you can get a good idea of whether you want to jump in with both feet.
Yeah.
Also, community outside of just at speaking good about Becca's program, community matters. Community matters so much. And even if you can't afford to work with Becca, find some community, find other sober people you can hang out with because that helps more than I ever thought it would.
It is the linchpin. It really is. And it's also ironically the one thing most of us don't want to do.
It's hard because you
Yeah.
don't know if you're going to be mean or dismissive or whatever. And also, you can't imagine how much it helps until you experience it.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Catie, but for me, it was that, yes, but it was also just my arrogance. Like, I don't need you. Give me a break. I'm a strong, independent, educated woman. I don't need a group. I can do this. It's just alcohol. Oh my God. All I have to do is not drink. Like, what the hell?
I
Only
had
to fail.
I had those thoughts too.
Yeah. Right? Like,
Yeah,
why do I need a group just to quit drinking? Why can't I just not drink? Well,
but it's more than that.
it is. And if we could, we would. Well, mind you, that's not true. You did. From '08 to 2021, you didn't drink, and you said it was the most miserable 13 years of your life,
Yes, it absolutely was.
which proves it's not just about the alcohol at all, right?
No,
In fact, it's not the al
mental space
yeah.
and what you have taught yourself to do surrounding your drinking thoughts. Because it's really just like teaching a dog tricks. I know,
The mind.
but it's like teaching your mind little tricks, and you have to change the way you approach life and the way you
You
think
do.
life.
Absolutely. One of the biggest problems or struggles that I see women have, Catie, is with self love, self trust, and self acceptance and self forgiveness. And so much so that it's the thing when I ask women at the end of their 8 weeks, how are you? Like, are you ready to go? And it's usually that. I just met with one of the women this morning from the group who's just finishing up. And that's the thing. It's she's like, I don't know if I, because we've let ourselves down so much in the past. Can you speak to how does that resonate with you? Was that an issue with you? If that's changed at all, how so?
Well, when I let myself down in the past, it was out really, I don't want to say lack of willpower. Once I decide something, I can usually make myself do it for a time. Like when I
Right.
my 20s, I ran for fitness and I got where I could run 11 miles. And then one day in my mid-30s, I just said, "Fuck this. I'm not doing it anymore."
Okay, well, then here's the question for you. If you can make up your mind to do something, then what was different about coming in and joining and what couldn't you do? It sounds like if I make Catie makes up her mind she can do something, then why did you need help, Catie? What difference did it make?
I needed to change my mindset, and I knew that. I needed to experience or work towards some self-growth, and I needed accountability to some people
Mm,
I could talk to, and also, once I got in there, I realized how important it was to listen to their experiences and see how similar they were to mine. I mean, you don't know how much it has affected me, Becca, to hear your story as well and how much you used to drink and the stuff you used to do. I think I did that. So
mm.
maybe she does have words that can help me because I did that too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one. The little pockets of shame we carry of the things we've done that women aren't supposed to do, or mothers aren't supposed to do, or grandmothers aren't, it's like, oh my God. Okay, so she did that too. Okay. Maybe I'm not a freak of nature. Right?
All the stuff you've done is, I mean, some skip row junkie stuff, you
I
know?
know.
And
I
you
know.
and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that." And then you see somebody who's like you, who's done some successful things and who's intelligent and well educated, and they're saying they did that too. And listening to
Yeah.
their story is huge because they seem so normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And one of the beautiful things about the program is because now you're one of the senior gals, right? Because you finished the 8 weeks, even though you didn't do your homework fully. That's okay. We won't tell anyone about that. Uh-huh. But you're now one of the gals who you've been there longer. So there are women coming in behind you. And the fact that you can support them is all part of the journey, right? Are you feeling that?
Yes, it is, and sometimes it gives me a feeling of, I don't have anything useful to say to them, I'm still a screw up. But then I have to say, "Well, there's nobody else who's gonna do it, so I better say something, and I better make it good too."
Yeah, it's so important to realize that we are helping others, even when we show up with our struggles. If somebody comes in there and says, "Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. I'm going to kill someone or whatever, I'm going to drink or scream my head off." That's not weakness. That's going, "Oh my God, okay, somebody else struggles too." And then we feel safe and sharing. And so that helps.
Yes, it absolutely helps. And also when you help somebody else, you can kinda get out of yourself for a little while,
Yeah,
and it's really relieving emotionally to help somebody
yeah,
else. I mean,
yeah,
I have been in a terrible day and get in the perspectives pod and talk to somebody a little bit about something they're struggling with, and I feel so much better after I've done it.
yeah. Here's something I've never told anyone. The only thing keeping me sober is helping you gals. It's actually not true, but it's exactly the point I wanted to make, right? When we show up for others, it really does strengthen our own sobriety.
It absolutely does.
Yeah. And it feels good. It feels good, especially when we have a history of screwing up because of alcohol. We get to start feeling really good about ourselves. Well, Catie, I've just been so honored and thrilled to have you in my world since May. And I know you're staying around a little longer, and that's amazing because you bring some really unique and beautiful energy to the group. And thank you so much for doing a snippet and coming into Snippet Land and sharing your story.
Thank you for being here for me, Becca. You have sincerely made a huge difference in my life.
I'm glad, Catie. Thanks so much. See you there over in WhatsApp.
Okay.
And there we have it. And another amazing woman doing amazing things to make sure she doesn't waste any more of her precious life. Thanks again, Catie. So what's the surprise? You're still here. Guess what the surprise is? We are doing another challenge like the one Catie came in on. You heard her. She said those 10 days made all the difference for her. And as she was speaking, it occurred to me, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I do those events for that reason, but it was the way she put it that surprised me. How she was sitting there and going, I probably need help, but how do I know it's the right help? And how can I? And it was like my event came along back in May and said to her, why don't you try it out for 10 days? Give it a whirl. See what it's like. And lo and behold, that's what she did, only to discover that was exactly what she needed. Now, don't get me wrong. There were women in that 10-day challenge with Catie who chose the opposite direction, who decided, no, I don't need this, I'm good. I do hear from the same women who come through my events, and sometimes they figure, well, that's good, I'm good. I got a nice solid week, 10 days with Becca, I'm good to go, only to fall back. It is not long enough to change our lives, but it's long enough to start and to discover whether or not you're on the right path. Because you know what I always say here in the snippets? I'm not here ever. You will never hear me say, my program is the one and only one size fits all for all women 40 plus. I don't say that. Some women need closer to home help. But if you're wondering, this is a perfect way to find out. So get to the point. The point is, starting September 1st, I'm doing another challenge. This one's 7 days long, which is plenty of time to test out the waters and see what it's like to be supported by Becca and other women just like you. Go to the show notes, sign up, and let me know you're coming so I can send you all the juicy details and you can start getting ready to test out the waters and see what it's like to start your sobriety fully supported. Summer's over. The kids and the grandkids are going back to school. The time is perfect. This is a perfect time to change your life. As the seasons start to change, we take our sobriety and our lives seriously, get back into a regular routine. Now's the time, gals. There's nothing standing in our way, and I do want you to think of this. There's a lull between now and Christmas. Yes, I said the C word. But there is. And if you can get your sobriety in now, September, October, you won't get caught up in the Christmas and holiday rush only to decide, oh, well, I'll wait till January. That's another 5 months of your life gone if you wait till January. So now's the time to get in before, while we have this nice shoulder season opportunity to start fresh and really dig in and make a difference in your life so that your sobriety is solid before all the craziness starts. Go to the show notes, let me know you're coming, and I'll send you all the information you need so you don't miss 1 minute of anything. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back next time so I can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.